one of the things that I could count on every single time that just kind of hit the spot in that first trimester were egg, bacon, and cheese sandwiches. And of course, I made my own because that's what we do, right? I make my own. So this is really simple. You don't even have to buy English muffins. These homemade biscuits are ready in less than 25 minutes. And we have some bacon on a sheet pan, and we're gonna make some eggs that will go on top of them. So Sean, great. I'll have you start with the eggs. You can just break 4 eggs into the skillet.
Okay.
Yep. And scramble them up with your fork. Add a 1/4 cup of milk of choice, and then salt and pepper to taste.
Okay.
I'm gonna start on the biscuits. We have 2½ cups of oat flour that I'm gonna put into a bowl. 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese. Now this might seem a little bit strange to add cheese to a biscuit mixture, but it adds a lot of salt and flavor. And then 2 cups of Greek yogurt. And then to that, I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of baking powder and 1 teaspoon of salt. And I'm gonna mix everything together for these biscuits in the bowl until a dough forms. One of the things that I found is that pregnancy for me really doesn't come with a whole lot of specific cravings, but I definitely have had food aversion. So foods that kind of sound gross to me that I normally like, and then foods that I crave a little bit more than normal. Yeah. What would you say my #1 craving is?
I think it's the same as it was with Maddie. You like strawberries.
Yep, that's right.
So I wonder if both, Maddie loves strawberries, so I wonder if this boy will love them too.
And I always wonder too with cravings, you know, if it's just something that your body needs specifically in pregnancy. And I think that there is a lot of truth to that. And I think even when you're not pregnant, that's definitely the case. So even if you're watching this show and you're like, I'm not pregnant and I never plan to be, or maybe you're kind of past that point of life where you're like, no thanks to pregnancy anymore, this show can definitely relate to anybody. Because I think we all go through times where we have cravings throughout the day.
I have craving for chocolate almost every day.
So it must be something your body needs.
It must be.
And what we're gonna do here with the eggs is we're gonna just let them cook.
Do you want me to put this in?
Yes,
put this in.
You can put that in. Okay, go ahead and add your salt and pepper. I already said to add that so everyone will know that what you're adding.
Is that even? I don't think there's anything in it.
Okay, there might not be. I found that in my mom's.
It's literally empty.
Just pretend.
Okay. There's nothing on the bottom.
That's okay.
Okay.
Just pretend. So this biscuit dough is looking perfect. It's coming together nicely. So now we're just gonna scoop it onto a sheet pan. So Sean, if you wanna bring that sheet pan over here in front of me. Okay, so we got our dough here, and I'm just gonna put it on a piece of parchment paper just to make sure it doesn't stick when I'm working with it. Now, if you find that this dough is sticky, you can add a little bit of oat flour, sprinkle it out, just like if you were making cookies or any other kind of dough batter. And then another tip is make sure your yogurt is cold. If your yogurt is cold, it will be much less sticky. Lastly, if you wanna get your hands a little bit wet with water, it prevents them from sticking a little bit. So I'm just gonna make biscuits out of the dough. Sean, you wanna take a little bit and help me out here?
Sure.
Okay. So I know that you said you of course crave chocolate, but do you feel like you ever have any other kinds of cravings, like salty, sweet things?
I'm always in the mood for something sweet.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like everybody has their own specific cravings, and it's usually a salty or a sweet person. So usually when I talk to people, they'll say, oh yeah, I'm always in the mood for something salty or something sweet.
I have cravings for, specific dishes, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
Like your barbecue pasta that you usually make me, like the one that's kind of like Mongolian barbecue, I always crave that, I feel like.
Oh, well that's good. Maybe there's something in that.
The sauce, yeah.
Just needs. I found that when I was in the beginning of my pregnancy, the only thing I truly craved was salt. And I actually learned that there was a reason for that. It has to do with your blood pressure increasing. So there's an actual scientific reason that your body is craving salt. Okay, so those eggs are looking about done. When they start to look like they're cooked on top is when they're done. If you have a really deep or a smaller pan and you want to put a lid on top, that will cook the top of the eggs. And these biscuits look great, so we're gonna get these on a sheet pan. The nice thing is you can cook the bacon and the biscuits together in the oven at the same time. 400 degrees, 15 minutes for the bacon or until it's crispy, 20 to 25 minutes for the biscuits. Then we'll pull them out and we'll put them together with the eggs and the cheese and the bacon. So I just grabbed our biscuits and our bacon out of the oven, and the eggs that Sean cooked are all ready to go. I'm giving him a little break, and I'm gonna show you how to put together one of these breakfast sandwiches. So you take one of the biscuits and you just cut it down the middle. It's really easy to cut. It's a little bit firm on the outside, tender on the inside, just like a biscuit should be. Then you can put, obviously, whatever layers that you like best in that order, but I'm gonna start with cheese. And I usually do it in assembly line fashion, so like I'll do 2 or 3 or 4 at a time on my counter. Then I have a mason jar lid. So you could either use the metal kind, you could use the bottom of a glass, whatever works for a circle. And then you just kind of cut the eggs, just like you would a cookie cutter, with the mason jar lid. Then I'm just gonna take a spatula and bring the eggs out. Put them right on top of the cheese. And then I'm gonna top it with some bacon. Again, this is really just up to your liking, if you like 2 or 3 pieces. And this is something that you can have breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack. You could even make them ahead and freeze them, and then put the top on. Now, right before I go to eat one of these, I'll warm it in the microwave just to melt that cheese for about 20 to 30 seconds. And it's absolutely delicious every time.